We are getting in some premium vinegar syndromes, baby.
Here we go! This night, you're gonna find that nightmares do come true. We will find you. Trick or treat. This night, you're gonna find that people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror, Year 3. This is Day 13. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. Zombie Island Massacre. Can I say any more after just listening to that title and looking at that cover? Goodness gracious, could you get more cheese? Could you get a bigger serving of cheese than that? I don't know. The slew of films coming, I'm super excited about because I like Vinegar Syndrome for what they do. They take the most obscure films that they could possibly find and revamp them into 2Ks or 4Ks, or basically polish the shit out of them, making them, the best quality that they could possibly make them since they've come out, usually like 20 to 30 to 40 years prior. So they do a good job at that company, I must say. And Zombie Island Massacre is exactly, in my opinion, what it sounds like. So jumping right into the synopsis, which is not a huge one, but you follow this group of people in the Caribbean, and they basically are signed up for like a island tour kind of thing to this island called San Marie Island off the Caribbean coast kind of thing. So they're all in this resort in the Caribbean, and they have this cruise basically that's heading to this island for a jungle tour kind of thing. And shit gets sloppy, as you would imagine, with a title called titled Zombie Island Massacre. And they have this tour guide. This tour guide is named Mr. Jones. And basically, as soon as this group of people, it's mostly a bunch of couples, and you follow a bunch of them, but I don't, like, some of them stand out, some of them don't. It starts off with this one couple, but then it kind of starts focusing on another couple kind of thing. But they're all basically in a group anyway. They're kind of a goofy group because everybody has, different personalities, and everybody starts clashing with each other. Your typical, nobody gets along, everybody wants to go their own way kind of thing as the plot goes on. But as soon as they get to the island with this cruise, basically they're right into like a voodoo kind of ritual, not quite seance, but tribal kind of worship ceremony kind of thing. So literally as soon as they get to the island, the tour guide takes them to this little grounds area where there's this worship going on with, voodoo chants and drumming and, potions and spells and chants and all kinds of shenanigans. And you're immediately, or the tour is automatically thrown into that. And there's a body laying on a table, and they're doing all kinds of chants to it, and it looks like a zombie. And then, of course, they bring in a goat because you got to sacrifice a goat. It's called Zombie Island Massacre. And since when you have a voodoo chant without sacrificing a goat or sacrificing something, usually it's a goat. So they bring in a goat, and the goat's upside down, and you know what's going to happen, and you know what's coming. So it's one of those. It just throws you right in. It wastes no time. And that's what I like about these kind of films, is when they waste no time, because build up with these kind of films is kind of pointless. You want these genres of films to just get straight into it, and this one, it really does for the most part. I'd say it does it pretty well, actually. And so yeah, they're doing this thing, and then obviously, you know, the zombie comes alive. And the tour people, the people who are on the island, basically just want to get the hell out of there immediately. So the tour guide takes them all back to the bus, but apparently the driver's missing. So the tour guide is like, oh, the driver probably just went to get help because the bus is missing the distributor cap. And yes, I had to write distributor cap down because I didn't even know what it was. But regardless, the driver's missing, so the tour guide takes it upon himself to go look for the driver, and he disappears for a while. And the crew, the tourists who are in the bus just waiting and chilling, eventually get fed up and they go look for the tour guide themselves, and they kind of split up into groups, and they start getting hacked up one by these zombie slash tribes people, and eventually they come across a mansion. Basically, it's some kind of residency, it's some kind of house, and they come across it, and that's kind of where the film reminds me actually of a few films. When they're on the bus, it gave me a lot of vibes of Jeepers Creepers 2. And not because they're getting picked off on the bus, but just because of the atmosphere that it had. I don't know, it's a way older film, obviously. But it gave me those vibes. And there's also not a monster in it that's flying around, picking everybody off one by one. It's more of a island zombie massacre, but it gave me those vibes. And the other film that it really reminded me of as soon as they got to the house is Night of the Living Dead, because they take sanctuary and they take refuge in this house that seems abandoned, but obviously it's not, because everything is lit and it doesn't, you know, like everything is running. Obviously somebody lives there, they just don't know who, really. And basically the third act, once they get to this house, is this guy shows up whose name is Whitney, and he's kind of like a crazy old man, and that's how he comes across to start. And he basically starts to reveal everything, and there's double crossings, and there's you know, you get the reasoning and the backstory, and who's the bad guys, who's the innocent guys, and people who you thought were innocent actually weren't, and people are behind things, and there's plans that were made prior to this tour and everything, and things just start getting revealed that way, keeping it spoiler free. But maybe it could have used more zombie action, but I definitely was. It gave me exactly what I expected. How's that? It gave me what I was looking for with the title, with the cover. There is a scene where I don't want to light this damn thing on fire. There is a scene where Buddy gets a spit through the head, and it's actually really funny because it almost borderline resembles like a Michael Myers mask. Obviously, that it just looks like a styrofoam like head with a mask on top of it. Like, tell me that's not exactly what that looks like. And that's what it looks like in the movie, except a little bit worse, because it looks so fake, but it's funny, so it's forgivable. You know what I mean? It's cheese and a half. I mean, you have to know that going in, but if you know that going in, it's super entertaining. Like, cheesy movies, if they're done right, are perfect for me. There's a joke actually that one woman makes as soon as they get to this mansion. She's basically like, the dialogue is extremely cheesy and seemingly on purpose. I don't know 100% if it was on purpose, but from what I got from the film, it seemed like they purposely wrote this film to be as cheesy as possible. So this woman makes a joke when the guy beside her knocks on the door, and she's like, if Igor answers, I'm leaving. And the guy's like, Igor? And she's like, yeah, like Frankenstein's butler, Igor. And the guy's like, oh, and just the way it's played off, I don't know, it's just so good. I found a lot of audio issues in this film. I found a lot of scenes where the music was louder than them talking. and you couldn't make out what any of them were saying. Like, there's a lot of scenes in this film that need subtitles just to make out what they're saying. It's strange that way. Like, I got those vibes a lot throughout the film, but I don't know if it was maybe the transfer that made that happen. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, that's the gist of the film, guys. I enjoyed it. It was super entertaining. It gave me exactly what I wanted, like I mentioned already, and it easily is worthy of multiple viewings. Like, easily. Love to have this shit on my shelf. Like I said, more Vinegar Syndrome's coming, and I cannot wait to review them. So I'm going to give this probably a 75 out of 100. Why out of 100? Because I hate decimals, and I think this is well worthy of a 75. What did I rate the other day that was that I gave a 48 out of 100? It was so recently, but I would raise that score so much from 48. For the life of me, I can't remember right now what I was reviewing, like literally 2 or 3 days ago, but there was a film that I very recently reviewed that I gave a 48 out of 100 to. Totally would raise that. Again, I'm giving my scores to like on the spot kind of thing. It was 976 Evil. Yes, it was literally the last film that I reviewed. 48 out of 100. I would give that in the 70s too. I'd probably give it a 72. 72 out of 100. So if I was going back, I would change the score. Of course, I'm keeping it at a 48 because that's what I originally gave it. But thinking back on it, it certainly deserved more than the 40s. Definitely would keep it in the 70s. But anyways, Zombie Island Massacre, directed by John N. Carter, and released in 1983. Don't even get me started whenever this film came out, because the case is 1983, but when I went to look online, this shit was released in 1994, 2004, and 1983. So I don't know when the F this thing came out. Well, I'm guessing it was produced in 1983, but distributed later, and that's why you get all these different dates, but I'm just sticking with 1983 because that's what it says on the cover. But anyway, I digress. That's quite a lot of rambling. So until next time, that was today's film. The next 3 films are going to be from Vinegar Syndrome, and as I said, I am extremely excited for them. So until next time, cheers and have a great night, and I will talk to you later.